So if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I fix a lot of U-Haul trucks that have had the gas stolen or the battery stolen out of them. Take this one here, for example. You can see the mess where someone tried to siphon some fuel out and spilled it all over the ground. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, this is one that I've already spliced the filler neck hose where someone had sliced it and siphoned the gas out of the tank. So this particular truck's been hit multiple times. And now we've always wondered how long it was going to be till someone finally lit themselves on fire doing this. Well, we don't have to wonder anymore, because after they stole the fuel out of that truck, they tried getting it out of this one. As you can see, it didn't end so well. A lot of these trucks, not all of them, but most of them, have screens in the filler neck so that you can't stick a hose down and siphon them out. So then what they do is just drill a hole in the tank, put a gas can under it, fill up the gas can, take off, and whatever runs out after that runs out on the ground. As you can see right here by the 4 different holes drilled in this tank, and all the fuel spilled on the ground. Well, the problem with that is the brushless motors on drills create sparks while they run. And when you mix sparks and fuel, sooner or later, but look at this mess. It melted right through everything. And there is just nothing left of this truck, not a single part salvageable. I mean, I guess that hubcap's still good. We could save that. This is terrible. And the other problem is it got so hot, it melted everything out of the truck in front of it as well. So this truck also has to get hauled off. And the truck behind it, this bumper's all deformed from the heat, and a bunch of the plastic around the headlights and in the front end is a little bit melted. That one might be something I just repair myself, take it to my house and do it there. These other two are gonna have to go back to the fleet maintenance shop, which is over on the other side of the mountain. So to start with, I'm gonna get these two moved out of the way, get my truck and trailer in front of this one, and winch it on, I guess. Okay, we got those trucks out of the way. We got my trailer backed up here. Okay, so here's what I got going on. I've got my 12,000 pounds Badlands winch coming out here through my rear fairlead of my truck, off to this side of the trailer with soft shackle and snatch ring. Comes down here to another soft shackle and snatch ring. That goes to a chain with 2 J hooks on it hooked into the front control arms. Then it comes all the way back up. It's just soft shackled to my D-ring on the other corner of the trailer. So let's see what happens. This is going to be nasty. All right, so just as I expected, this tire dragging and that one not is making the truck come over this way. Problem is the steering wheel is completely locked and you can't turn anything, so that's just kind of how it's stuck. So we need to figure out how to move this whole truck that way. So how we do that is we chain from a D-ring here right around the frame of the truck. You can go suspension, anything like that. And now when I pull forward on the winch, this chain swings around to the side and I'll pull this whole front end back over. Look at that. Only problem was I didn't exactly pay attention to where my binder handle was sitting, and I bent it. Okay, we're probably gonna have to do that trick a couple more times because it's just gonna keep wanting to go that way. That's all right. Okay, it's on the trailer, it's tied down, and that was actually the easy part. Now it's the part I'm really not looking forward to, which is I gotta tarp this thing because we don't want all this stuff blowing out on traffic behind us going down the road. So the problem with burn jobs is there's lots of sharp edges and jagged parts and all that that are just gonna eat tarps alive. So I stopped at Harbor Freight on the way down here and got tarp and a whole bunch of bungee cords, and that's gonna be a single-use tarp. When this thing gets dropped off, that tarp is done. Alright, so we got the tarp on it. Total pain because I forgot two very important things. Actually, three things. Number one, I forgot a ladder. Number two, I forgot to bring my coveralls, and now I've got this charcoal nasty all over my sweater. I bumped my head into the truck while I was loading it, so it's on my hat, and burn jobs stink so bad. This sweater's probably pretty well ruined now, so my pants, of course, are a mess. My shoes are gonna stink like that for who knows how long. And that means when I get done with this, I'm gonna have to go on CascadeHeavyRescue.com/shop and order me up some new gear. And fun fact, that's where you can get your own gear if you want it too. Oh, and the third thing I forgot to bring was a couple people to help me tarp this, because it is not fun to do by yourself. But luckily, I have eaten a lot of burritos in my life, and a tortilla is basically just a tarp for your dinner. So this is not my first rodeo getting creative on a wrapping job. So the only thing left to do is to sweep all this debris off the trailer. But since I'm too lazy to sweep with a broom, I have a trick up my sleeves. Okay, so we're loaded up and we're gonna head over the Cascades to the other side to drop this thing off in Eugene. And luckily this is not like a roadside accident call burn job where I'd be responsible for doing all of the debris cleanup and cleaning up the site and all that stuff. I've done those. They suck. It's horrible. That's the worst part of the job. I'll put a link at the end of this video. It'll pop up. You can just click on it. It'll take you to a big one of those jobs that I did. It's a new technology I finally figured out how to use. But in this case, since it's a private job on private property, the property owner, which is that U-Haul dealer, is going to do the cleanup of the site right there. And they've got to dig up all the asphalt underneath where that thing was sitting and repave all that anyway. So they're going to handle all that side of it. I'm just responsible for moving the truck. So now we get to see how many times I have to stop along the way and redo that tarp. My guess is 4. Alright, we're up over Sandium Pass and down along the McKenzie River, so about halfway through the trip. And I haven't seen anything in the mirror that was super concerning yet, and that's super concerning. So I stopped to check everything over anyway, and everything seems nice and tight. Like, all my bungees are still there, all the straps are still there, so it seems to be holding together so far. The only minor issue is where that corner stabbed through the tarp, which I knew was going to happen, and on that top rail where all the bolts were sticking up that were holding the fiberglass on, there's a bunch of little tears. But it looks like it'll have to rip about twice as far as it has before it all goes flying out of there. And we are about halfway through the trip, so technically if you do the math, it's going to make it. So we've made it to the city of Springfield. Just got to get through here, across the bridge and into Eugene, and we can go drop this thing off. As you may have guessed, this is the bridge. So we're gonna get all the bungee cords pulled off, get the straps rolled up. The important thing is it made it in one try, and I'm really happy about that. Okay, so I wrestled the tarp off, got all the chains and binders off, everything done. Now we got to get it off of here, which obviously it won't roll off. So coming out of our winch up there, all the way under the truck to a snatch ring at the back, and then back up to a soft shackle around the sway bar, so that when this line comes in, that one pulls back out and reverse winches the truck off the trailer. Okay, that worked out way better than I thought it was going to. So now I just got to put my fenders back on, put all my stuff away, clean off the deck, and say goodbye to this mess. Okay, back to that whole being lazy thing. All right, that's it. Our prize is delivered, our trailer is clean, our stuff is put away. and we are headed home. Overall, pretty decent job. I think getting the tarp on and back off was the hardest part of the whole deal. That Badlands winch, again, just impresses me every time. It drug it right on there, totally dead and locked up. So that made the loading part easy. Other than that, it's just go home, put all this stuff in the laundry with lots and lots of soap, and hope the smell goes away. And then next week we got one more truck to bring over here. It's just got some slight fire damage on the back. It still runs and drives, so that'll be easy. And then the other one that's just got some damage to the grill in the front, I'm gonna fix that myself. Maybe I'll show you guys that. And that's gonna be about it for this little project. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.